What's up, everybody, and welcome to 2026. We made it. We got through the holidays, and now it's time to experience a new beginning, maybe. There's a lot of talk currently going on about attachment styles, and they were around for a while, but the conversation is just, it's a lot that I'm hearing kind of in the ethers. One specifically about the avoidant attachment style. And there's a lot of criticism on that particular attachment style. If you want to know more, just type in avoidant attachment. There's anxious attachment. There's a whole list of them. I'll have a book, and I'll throw up what the book I have too that can kind of give you some indicators. But I was one who was really hard on the avoidant attachment style person. I have found myself in relationships with avoidant attachment style people. And it is a challenge. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But unfortunately, what I've learned is I myself have a bit of the avoidant attachment style persona, or maybe a lot, depending on who you're asking. Um, and there's not a lot of conversation of how, or some reasons why some people form that attachment style. So, to give you my experience with what has occurred in my background and what I'm working on in therapy, because it is something you have to work on to adjust, right? Um, you just do. It doesn't go away on its own. My first one would be parentification. And when I was growing up, being the eldest in a single parent household, I was responsible for doing a lot of adult roles, right? So there's something called emotional parentification, and there's instrumental. Mine fell more with the instrumental because that's focusing on chores, making sure your younger siblings are taken care of, fed in the bed, all that stuff, cleaning and things of that nature. Basically, switching roles with the parent um, within the house. And for me, it was a single parent household. My mom had to work, right? So it was survival in my mind. This wasn't something odd. A lot of times people hear parentification and think of people who are dealing with drugs, mental health issues, neglect, and things of that nature. Sometimes it's just you have to fill in a role because your mom has to work. And that was my reasoning. And where my parentification came in, I fill in a role. I fell in a role. I had to fill in a role. And I did that up until I left for school. Um, and then I left my mom. And if you're following my journey, my grief journey, losing my mom at a rather young age, shortly after I moved out of the house due to cancer, impacted my attachment style as well. So for me, my avoidant attachment style problems, challenges, I guess, came from filling roles, um, and then the level of abandonment that comes when losing your mom at a really pivotal point in your adult life, when you're just learning about what adulthood is, right? So the hot and cold and things of that nature that would appear in my relationships, or if somebody gets too attached to me, I'm like, okay, it's a little bit too much. um it was really a safety mechanism of protecting myself from further pain. Again, I have a pretty extensive trauma history outside of the parentification, outside of the grief, that also added into the pot of where I developed some of this avoidant attachment personality style. So I'm saying all that to say we hear a lot about people who have avoidant attachment or people dealing with people like that. And it sucks. I'm not sitting here to tell you that it doesn't. I've been in relationships with somebody who's an avoidant. Imagine that, two avoidants together. Hell. But I know it sucks. But I also just wanted to give some information about why some of these personalities develop, people just aren't trying to be jerks. I mean, there might be people who are out there trying to be jerks and just really screwing people over. But for a lot of us, we've gone through some things in our life that we have to deal with. So, quick response of, can people with avoidant attachment styles come out of that? Absolutely. But therapy usually is a part of that equation. So I just wanted to throw that out there, give some additional information about that because I am seeing that a lot. So just wanted to give a perspective from the other side. People can adjust their attachment style. A lot of times they need additional support around that. And a lot of times we develop these attachment styles to no fault of our own. So I hope some of that insight helps, to let you all know we are all not a lost cause. Like some of these videos and things that I've been listening to, but there has to be some responsibility with getting additional help and support, right? Things that happen to us in childhood, not our fault. But once you become an adult and become aware of how it's impacting you, that does become your responsibility. So hopefully that helps. And it really comes down to if you want to put up the energy that's needed while somebody gets the help, but also know that it has to be them who wants the help. It's something that can't be forced, but there is a potential light at the end of the tunnel. All right, you all take care. I'll talk to you soon.